my name's Rachel and today we're going to talk about Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I know you're all asking, where's the Cassandra Clare video? I know, I'm getting to it. It's coming, but I have 9 pages of notes already and it's still not done, which means I have to split the video into parts. So the Cassandra Clare Author Behaving Badly series is coming. Okay, that's my only option. I'm still working on that, but I also have commissions to get through. So here we are. This video was commissioned by Ava. Thank you to Ava. Belladonna is described as a gothic infused story. I could call it that, I guess. What I'd really call it is Addie LaRue mixed with Kingdom of the Wicked with a sprinkling of a series of unfortunate events and just a dash of The Secret Garden. That's it. Here's the actual synopsis, okay? Orphaned as a baby, 19-year-old Signa has been raised by a string of guardians, each more interested in her wealth than her well-being, and each has met an untimely end. Her remaining relatives are the elusive Hawthorns, an eccentric family living at Thorngrove, an estate both glittering and gloomy. Its patriarch mourns his late wife through wild parties, while his son grapples for control of the family's waning reputation, and his daughter suffers from a mysterious illness. But when their mother's restless spirit appears claiming she was poisoned, Signa realizes that the family she depends on could be in grave danger and enlists the help of a surly stable boy to hunt down the killer. However, Signa's best chance of uncovering the murder is an alliance with Death himself, a fascinating, dangerous shadow who has never been far from her side. Though he's made her life a living hell, Death shows Signa that their growing connection may be more powerful and more irresistible than she could ever imagine. Okay, I gave this 3.5 stars. It's not poorly written, like prose-wise, which is more than I could say for some of the stuff that I've read on this channel. It's very atmospheric, which I appreciate. The audiobook narrator did a great job. She was supremely talented. And I can see this appealing to a lot of readers, especially those who like the dynamics in Addie LaRue between Addie and the Death God, the Dark God, sorry, and the romance and Kingdom of the Wicked. I get who the audience is. If you are in the audience, you're gonna have a great time and I'm happy for you. Why did I not love this? For that answer, we will have to get into spoiler territory. So if you're not here for spoilers, I'm so sorry, but I'm about to spoil it. First, I must do the thing. You know what's coming. Thank you for being a friend to my patrons. First to those paying my therapy bills: Eric, Lex, SJ, Jill, Molly, and Zachary. Thank you for being a friend. I super appreciate you. Today's therapy comes in the fact that we upgraded our Christmas tree for more ornaments. Size, what? More ornament, real estate. Christmas! Is my tree already up before Thanksgiving? It is. Thank you for asking. I also have to thank my potato starch Marxists: Aiden, Allison, Brittany, Caitlin, Carlin, Celia, Chris, CJ, Corey, Diet Goth, Ebby, Eden, Elise, Aaron, Gracie, Borgus, Jen, Jillian, Jules, Kate, Katie O, Quinn, Kylie, Laura, Marcella, Morgan R, Morgan W, Nicole, Paige, Peggy, Ray, Reba, Sammy, Sarah, Shannon, Sean, Talia, and Winter. And I can hear my 3-year-old. If you want to join Patreon, the link is down below. You get early access and voting privileges and behind the scenes, and we chit chat and some other stuff that I can't remember. Also, the wonderful people over at Javi did send me a discount code for their delicious concentrated coffee. You pour 2 teaspoons in and then you add milk, and then voila, you have iced coffee in like 10 seconds, which for me as a parent is great. And also it's great for those who don't want to drink Monster at 8 o'clock in the morning, which I'm trying to cut back since they still haven't sponsored me. Oh, hello. That was the most hilarious way you could have said that sentence.
Come on.
I have to go look at the Christmas tree.
You want to go look at the Christmas tree?
Yeah. Tree looks great. Moving along. If you would like a discount code for Javi, it is delicious. I already drank all of mine. I may have overdone it. They probably did not expect me to drink it all within a week of having sent it to me, but having coffee be that easy to make, it's dangerous. It's dangerous to have in my house. But if you want a discount code, it's this, or you can just click the link down below. It's right there. It's like jobby something or other. And now let us dive in. Signa Farrow. Farrow is our main character. She was orphaned as a baby. Everybody at this party she was at as a baby just up and died. This was the first time that she saw death. Very serious of unfortunate events beginning for our girl Signa. She gets passed from one guardian to another. She's just waiting to get her inheritance. Some guardians are good, some guardians are bad. It's very Lemony Snicket in the beginning. First guardian was her uncle. She was having a great time. Cool. Her uncle's really nice, and she makes a friend named Charlotte. And in a turn of events that I did not love at all, we have reported to us by Signa that her uncle died because of an STD, and Charlotte's mom also died of that STD. So people were like, oh, they were fucking and now they're both dead, and her and Charlotte were not friends anymore. And I'm thinking, okay, that's motive right there. So I'm just gonna store that in my one brain cell, store that info for later, and yep, I'm sure that'll come up later. Her guardians keep dying. She moves from house to house, keeps living her life as Violet Baudelaire minus the siblings, but all her life she's been able to see death. So every time her guardian dies, she sees death, the person come collect their ghosts. She can also see the ghosts, and she's like, why the fuck does death have it out for me so much? Like, I'm just trying to live and this dude keeps taking all of my guardians. That's her perception. Immediately that's stupid, and we know that that's not what's happening. Also, Signa can't die. She breaks her neck, she doesn't die. She eats poison belladonna berries. She eats belladonna and she doesn't die. And one day she summons death, and she's like, fuck you, you're a piece of shit, you kill all my guardians, I hate you. And he's like, I didn't do that. What are you talking about? She tries to stab him, but of course it doesn't work, because how can death die? Not our best planner, Signa Farrow. She's not a plans gal. So she, while he's there, accidentally kills her aunt, who's a dick anyways. She's then sent to live with the Hawthorne family, the mom of which passed away not too long ago. And this dude who works in their stables comes to fetch her. Here is where I stop to tell you that one, Adeline Grace is about as subtle as a gun in showing who her love interests are. From the moment you meet Death, you're like, oh wow, he wants to fuck our main character. Like, it's quite obvious. He's like breathing heavy and he talks like this, and you can just tell that he's undressing her while she's speaking. So we introduce the stable boy, and they are also flirting. And I'm like, wait, is this a love triangle in 2022? 2021? When was this published? Haven't we surpassed the need for love triangles? Have we not embraced polyamory? But I suppose not every book could be Iron Widow. Oh, she's over there. So polyamory gets ruled out immediately because, unfortunately, again, not every book can be Iron Widow. But this leaves three options for why she has already, in the first 5% of this book, flirted with two different love interests, right? One, love triangle. Two, they're flirting for no reason because authors, for some reason, have a hell of a time writing hetero friendships. Or three, another option that I thought of but immediately discarded because said to myself, no, that's too stupid. It couldn't be it. Which we will come back to. Okay. She gets to Hawthorne Manor, where she has to live for 6 months until she's old enough to claim her inheritance. Again, channeling Violet Baudelaire. And Hawthorne Manor is still reeling from the loss of mom-wife, which Signa, by the way, ends up seeing her in ghost form. Conveniently, she cannot speak, but she lets Signa know, hey, I was murdered. So now it's like a series of unfortunate events meets Clue. In the Hawthorne house, we have Mr. Hawthorne, rich man who owns gentleman clubs and drinks too much. His 2 children, who he mostly ignores, one Bryony, the sickly one, and the red-headed son, whose name I always forget. Percy, I think? Uncle Crotchety, definitely don't remember his name, and the governess, who I also don't remember the name of. So we will call them Uncle Crotchety and governess for the rest of this, okay? Also an assortment of like maids and cooks who are meaningless to the story. They're rich people. The help doesn't get names. So Death shows up and is like, hey, yo, it's me, your boy, who clearly does not have it out for you, but I do have a thing for you. I think you have powers similar to mine. I would like you to stop claiming that I'm trying to ruin your life. It's not me killing your guardians, it just happens. And also, I would like to teach you to use your powers and maybe fuck, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see where the night takes us. She basically tells him to fuck off, even though he's like, I can help you solve this murder. And she asks the stable boy to help her instead, whose name I also forget. She meets Bryony, the sickly Hawthorne daughter. The governess is like, hey, I gotta teach you to be a lady so that you can eventually, you know, get your inheritance, get your money. And she starts getting like lessons and etiquette and shit. Redhead Percy helps her learn to dance, even though he's like kind of rude to her because he like really cares what people think about him. And then she and redheaded Percy go to visit Bryony, and she figures out that Bryony has been being fed Belladonna, meaning that the killer is likely striking once again. The same murderer who took out the mom has it out for Bryony. And redheaded son gets like annoyed with her for like pointing out like, oh, and he's like, well, the doctors prescribed this shit. What do you know, stupid woman who just got here, and getting annoyed with Signet. And at this point I'm thinking like, okay, everybody's a suspect, at least for the first 50%, right? And there's no way that this little sad redheaded stepchild boy is the killer, because that would be the stupidest option. That would be the stupidest option. So at this point I ruled him out, right? It would be the most loser answer ever, worse than if the greedy Uncle Crotchety did it. Enter a worthy suspect. While she's being thrust into the world of like learning etiquette and shit, she meets some of the local girls who are her age who are debuting and, you know, trying to find a suitable match, entering society, trying to get married and whatnot. And when you know it, who's there but fucking Charlotte, the girl whose mom died from an STD from fucking Cygna's uncle. Boom, case closed. Charlotte has been following Cygna, killing off her relatives, guardians, whatever. Charlotte says literally nothing in this scene where she finally comes on page, except like, nice to see you are doing okay, and dips. And she's super awkward. Meanwhile, Cygna is getting help from both Death, who the tension, they just fuck already, and Stable Boy, who also tension, but he like claims, oh, I have feelings for someone, by the way. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And he like suspiciously wears clothes that are too nice for a stable boy. How dare a man who works with horses want to look like he shops somewhere other than, I don't know, fantasy old time Walmart, I guess. And Cygna suspects everybody except two people. Is one of them Charlotte? Yes. She and Death, they strike up a romance, they finally fuck, and by the way, it's a typical like low detail young adult sex scene, so I think that like this book would work for those of y'all who are looking to avoid the like Sarah J Maas knockoffs and herself with their like velvet wrapped steel and the apex of her thighs and the smelling the arousal and being shocked at how huge the main love interest dick is. If you're looking to avoid all that, none of that is in this book, so bless. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate their dynamic. I was just really hoping for a book with like, yeah, let's fuck Death. Let's have that gothic feeling that I really like in books. But my God, please, I also need a plot that doesn't make me go, why though? Because while Stable Boy and Death have been helping her, all of them somehow together, with their brain cells combined, guessed the wrong person. But was it my guess? Was it Charlotte? So Cygna finds the governess with obvious signs of having been handling Belladonna. It's on her, stained her fingers. Okay, this is the last minute red herring. I saw it coming. It had been made painfully obvious that the governess was actually the real mom of Percy, the redhead boy, meaning that the mom who died was actually, you know, his like adopted mom, right? Oh, the drama. They kick her ass out of the house instead of calling the constable, even though she allegedly, they believe, killed one person and was poisoning another. Weird, but whatever, let's suspend our disbelief. Cygna tries to find Percy, who by the way was poisoned at a dance after speaking to whom? Charlotte. And ta-da! She goes to find Percy in the woods. She loses Stable Boy, who at that point she had been starting to suspect too, because she suspected everybody except two people. And she finds Charlotte! And Charlotte says some cryptic shit about plants. And I'm like, this is it. I knew from the beginning I could never be fooled. And then Charlotte leaves. She's not the killer. It turns out Percy was the killer. He killed his adopted mom, Mrs. Hawthorne, because he was trying to kill his biological mom because he knew that the governess was his biological mom. He was like, everybody knew, it's so embarrassing. And he was trying to kill his sister because of his daddy issues, because he wanted more attention. And then he poisoned himself, knowing that Cygna had one dose of the antidote left and would have to save him. So then he re-poisoned his sister, Bryony, right after he had gotten the antidote. So Cygna was forced to tell Death, you have to save her, and saved Bryony in exchange for someone else, which tempted fate, messed with fate. More on that in a second. So I'm like, okay, not only was I wrong, I'm more disappointed than if I had been correct, which I hate guessing and being like right. I hate figuring out the ending before the ending. It was the redheaded stepchild. It was a dude who thought he deserved more from the world and was pissy because he wasn't getting it and was killing women who he should have loved, who never did anything to him. Is this like commentary on misogyny but done extremely poorly and at the last minute? Boo! Boo! So anyways, Signa kills him. At the end of the book, another turn of events happens, and that brings me back to earlier when I said there's 3 options for why Signa and Stable Boy, God, I can't remember his name, doesn't matter though, are flirting throughout this book. 1, love triangle. 2, flirting for no reason because there cannot be a hetero friendship. 3, another option that I thought of but immediately discarded because it was so stupid that it could not be it. The author would not do something so no. She did. And that option was Stable Boy and Death are the same person. It's just Death in disguise. He pulled it off. He was never actually a stable boy, which explains why he never interacted with anybody at Hawthorne, even though they never interacted with the Help at all, because, you know, rich folk. I was like, it's such a silly idea. There's no way. I immediately threw it away. That would be stupid. It was stupid, but it was exactly what happened. In 2 cases, the author went for the options that I least thought she would take because they were so womp womp meh. Twice! At the end of the book, someone not in the Hawthorne family gets murdered and Death shows up, but so does his brother Fate. And I was like, damn, I do like that idea. Fuck, I guess I'm gonna read the sequel. The stupid sequel where she's probably gonna take the least fun ideas, but I want to see Fate personified. I like that idea. I love the idea of Death personified. I'll take Fate too. Fuck it. Anyway, my review summed up could be, this was fine. It had gothic vibes, which I like. I like the idea of an ageless entity, Death personified, teaming up with a human to solve murders. That's fun. I just wish the twists hadn't been so silly. I can see this having like a chokehold on readers out there who love like certain other dynamics of certain other books, and I get it. But I really think that this could have been a 5 for me instead of like a middle of the road read had the twists not been so incredibly lackluster. Just once I want a book to shock me in a good way, not shock me in a, oh, you took that route? Or a, oh yeah, I figured that out in chapter 3 way. So either way, I do recommend the audiobook actually because the narrator was excellent. I probably would have rated it lower had I read it physical copy or ebook because she did such a marvelous job bringing the characters to life and doing unique voices for everybody. I was really pleasantly surprised. I read Nature of Witches right after this, which I'm also going to do a review for, and that audiobook was not, it was very womp womp. But this one, it was good. Like, hats off to the narrator. Anyway, that's my review for Belladonna. It's fine. Could have been a lot better. Anyway, tell me a book that you didn't guess the twist that absolutely shocked you at the end. And that's all I have for you. If you want to comment down below, like and subscribe, join Patreon, you can tip me on Ko-fi, follow me on social medias, yada yada. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. Oh, thanks again, Ava. Appreciate you.